You may be sleeping for hours and still wake up feeling exhausted, anxious, or emotionally fragile. Your sleep looks okay on paper, yet your hormones feel completely off. Many women between 30 and 45 assume this is just part of getting older or being busy, but very often, poor sleep is quietly disrupting hormone balance. Sleep is not just rest. It's when hormones reset, communicate, and rebalance. Hormones like cortisol, melatonin, progesterone, estrogen, insulin, and thyroid hormones rely on deep, consistent sleep to function properly. After 30, stress, light exposure, irregular schedules, and blood sugar instability make sleep lighter and less restorative, which directly affects hormones. In this video, you'll learn how poor sleep disrupts hormones, why women are especially affected after 30, and how to restore hormonal balance naturally by improving sleep quality without extreme measures. Cortisol and melatonin, the sleep hormones that fall out of sync. When you're exhausted but can't truly rest, you feel tired all day, yet wide awake at night. Your body wants sleep, but your mind feels alert, restless, or anxious. Even when you do fall asleep, it's light and broken. This frustrating pattern often appears when cortisol and melatonin, the two main sleep-wake hormones, fall out of sync, something that becomes more common for women after 30. How cortisol and melatonin are meant to work together. Cortisol and melatonin follow opposite rhythms. Cortisol rises in the morning to help you wake up and handle the day. Melatonin rises at night to signal that it's time to rest and repair. In a healthy rhythm, cortisol is high in the morning and low at night. Melatonin is low during the day and high after dark. This balance allows you to feel alert when you need energy and sleepy when it's time to rest. How poor sleep disrupts this rhythm. When sleep becomes inconsistent or shallow, this rhythm starts to flip. Cortisol may stay elevated into the evening, while melatonin release becomes delayed or weaker. This can happen due to chronic stress and mental load, irregular sleep and wake times, excess light exposure at night, late meals or blood sugar instability, little true downtime during the day. Instead of calming down at night, your body remains in alert mode. Why this gets worse after 30. After 30, hormonal buffering becomes less reliable. Progesterone, which helps calm the nervous system in the evening, often declines. Estrogen begins to fluctuate, increasing sensitivity to stress and light. Without these supports, cortisol's signals become louder, and melatonin struggles to rise. The result is feeling tired but wired, exhausted, yet unable to fully relax into sleep. What high nighttime cortisol feels like. When cortisol stays high at night, women often experience racing thoughts at bedtime, a tense or restless body, light, easily disrupted sleep, waking between 2 and 4 a.m., feeling alert despite fatigue. These symptoms are hormonal, not a sign of poor discipline or weak willpower. How low melatonin affects hormones. Melatonin doesn't just control sleep, it also signals other hormones when to reset. Low or delayed melatonin effects. Progesterone, reducing nighttime calm. Insulin, increasing blood sugar instability. Estrogen, worsening hormonal fluctuations. Thyroid hormones, slowing overnight repair. This is why one bad sleep pattern can create multiple hormonal symptoms. Why sleeping in doesn't fix it. Many women try to catch up on sleep by staying in bed longer. Unfortunately, this often worsens the cortisol-melatonin mismatch. Irregular wake times confuse the circadian rhythm, keeping cortisol elevated and melatonin suppressed the following night. Consistency matters more than duration when it comes to hormone regulation. Doctor-approved ways to resync cortisol and melatonin. Supporting these hormones is about restoring rhythm, not forcing sleep. Helpful support includes waking at a consistent time every day, getting natural light early in the morning, dimming lights and screens after sunset, creating a predictable wean-down routine, avoiding stimulating activities late at night. These cues teach cortisol when to turn off and melatonin when to rise. Poor sleep disrupts the delicate balance between cortisol and melatonin. After 30, hormonal shifts make this imbalance more likely, leaving you exhausted but unable to rest deeply. When sleep timing and light exposure are corrected, these hormones begin working together again, allowing sleep to feel restorative and hormonal balance to start repairing naturally. Progesterone: why poor sleep increases anxiety, PMS, and restlessness. When one bad night makes everything feel worse. You may notice that after a poor night's sleep, your emotions feel heavier, anxiety rises faster, and PMS symptoms feel more intense. Small stressors feel overwhelming, and your body feels tense instead of calm. This isn't just fatigue, it's often because poor sleep directly lowers progesterone, the hormone that helps your nervous system feel safe and settled. What progesterone does for sleep and calm. Progesterone is one of the body's main calming hormones. It supports GABA, a neurotransmitter that quiets brain activity, relaxes muscles, and reduces anxiety. This calming effect is especially important at night, when the body is meant to transition into rest. When progesterone is sufficient, falling asleep feels easier, the body releases tension, and sleep stays deeper and more restorative. How poor sleep lowers progesterone. Progesterone is highly sensitive to stress. Poor sleep is interpreted by the body as a stressor, which raises cortisol. Cortisol and progesterone compete for the same resources. When sleep is disrupted, cortisol rises. Progesterone production is deprioritized. The nervous system stays more alert. Over time, repeated poor sleep reduces progesterone availability, especially in women over 30 whose baseline progesterone may already be lower. Why this matters more. After 30. After 30, progesterone often declines earlier than estrogen due to changes in ovulation consistency. When sleep quality drops on top of this natural decline, the loss of progesterone's calming effect becomes much more noticeable. This is why women often say, "I never used to feel this anxious from one bad night of sleep." The hormonal buffer that once protected you is no longer as strong. How low progesterone shows up day and night. When progesterone is suppressed by poor sleep, women commonly experience increased anxiety or irritability, trouble relaxing at night, worsening PMS symptoms, restless sleep or frequent waking, heart palpitations during stress, feeling wired instead of calm. These symptoms often improve on days following better sleep, which is a strong clue that progesterone is involved. The cycle connection. Many women notice sleep and anxiety worsen in the second half of the menstrual cycle when progesterone should be highest. If sleep is poor during this phase, progesterone's drop feels sharper and symptoms intensify. This cycle-related pattern is often overlooked but highly informative. Why this is often missed. Progesterone is rarely discussed in relation to sleep quality. When women report anxiety or PMS, sleep is treated as a separate issue rather than a hormonal trigger. Understanding that sleep directly protects progesterone helps explain why improving sleep often improves multiple symptoms at once. Doctor-approved ways to protect progesterone through sleep. Supporting progesterone means reducing nighttime stress signals. Helpful strategies include protecting consistent sleep and wake times, creating calming evening routines, avoiding intense workouts late in the day, eating regularly to prevent nighttime blood sugar stress, managing daytime stress, so nights feel safer. These signals tell the body it's safe to restore progesterone's calming role. Poor sleep suppresses progesterone, removing one of the body's most important calming supports. After 30, this effect becomes stronger, making anxiety, PMS, and restlessness feel worse after even one bad night. By improving sleep consistency and reducing nighttime stress, progesterone can begin supporting calm again, and many symptoms ease together. Insulin and blood sugar: why bad sleep. worsens weight, cravings, and energy. When sleep loss makes your body feel unrecognizable. After a poor night's sleep, you may wake up unusually hungry, crave sugar or carbs all day, and feel drained no matter what you eat. Weight gain feels easier, especially around the belly, and energy crashes come sooner. This isn't a lack of discipline, it's often because poor sleep disrupts insulin and blood sugar regulation, which then affects multiple hormones at once. How sleep controls insulin sensitivity. Insulin helps move glucose from the blood into cells for energy. Deep, consistent sleep keeps insulin working efficiently. When sleep is short or fragmented, insulin sensitivity drops sometimes after just one bad night. With lower insulin sensitivity, blood sugar stays higher after meals. The body needs more insulin to do the same job. Energy delivery to cells becomes less efficient. This creates a state where the body feels tired but hungry at the same time. Why this gets worse after 30. After 30, hormonal shifts make insulin more sensitive to stress and sleep loss. Cortisol rises with poor sleep and directly interferes with insulin's action. Fluctuating estrogen also affects how muscles and the liver respond to insulin. This combination means the same poor sleep that once felt manageable now leads to stronger cravings, bigger energy swings, and easier fat storage, especially around the abdomen. Night waking, blood sugar, and early morning fatigue. Poor sleep often includes waking during the night. These awakenings are frequently linked to blood sugar dips. When blood sugar drops too low during sleep, the body releases adrenaline and cortisol to raise it. This wakes you up and leaves you feeling alert but unrested. By morning, blood sugar regulation is already strained, setting the stage for cravings and crashes all day. How poor sleep drives cravings. Sleep deprivation changes hunger hormones. Ghrelin, hunger hormone, rises. Leptin, satiety hormone, falls. This makes the brain seek quick energy. Sugar and refined carbs become especially tempting because they raise blood sugar fast, even though the relief is short-lived. This is a biological response, not a willpower issue. Why weight gain becomes easier. When insulin is less effective, the body stores more energy as fat. Elevated cortisol from poor sleep also encourages fat storage around the midsection. Over time, repeated poor sleep creates a pattern of increased cravings, reduced energy, easier fat storage, harder fat loss. This explains why doing everything right during the day doesn't work when sleep is off. Symptoms women commonly notice. When insulin and blood sugar are disrupted by poor sleep, women often experience strong cravings after bad sleep, energy crashes mid-morning or afternoon, belly weight gain, feeling shaky or irritable between meals, difficulty going long between meals. These symptoms often improve after several nights of better sleep. Doctor-approved ways to protect insulin through sleep. Supporting insulin starts with sleep rhythm. Helpful support includes protecting consistent bed and wake times, avoiding late-night sugar and alcohol, eating balanced meals with protein and fiber, managing stress to reduce cortisol, getting daylight exposure in the morning. These habits help restore insulin sensitivity naturally. Poor sleep disrupts insulin and blood sugar regulation, making cravings stronger, energy lower, and weight gain easier, especially after 30. This isn't a personal failure, it's a hormonal response to sleep loss. When sleep quality improves, insulin sensitivity begins to recover, and many weight and energy struggles ease without extreme diets or effort. Thyroid and estrogen. Why hormones feel off when sleep is poor. When labs look normal but your body doesn't. You may be told your thyroid tests are fine, your hormones are within range, yet you feel exhausted, cold, moody, foggy, or emotionally fragile after nights of poor sleep. Your body feels slow and out of sync. For many women after 30, this happens because sleep disruption interferes with how thyroid and estrogen hormones communicate, not because something is permanently wrong. How sleep supports thyroid hormone signaling. Thyroid hormones help regulate energy, body temperature, heart rate, and metabolism. Sleep is a critical time for thyroid hormone signaling to reset and become effective at the tissue level. When sleep is deep and consistent, the body efficiently converts thyroid hormones into their active form and delivers them to cells. When sleep is poor, this process becomes less efficient, even if blood tests still look normal. This is why you can feel hypothyroid without having a diagnosed thyroid condition. Why poor sleep disrupts thyroid function. After 30, the thyroid becomes more sensitive to stress. Poor sleep raises cortisol, which interferes with thyroid hormone conversion and uptake. Chronic sleep disruption signals the body to conserve energy. The thyroid responds by slowing processes slightly. This isn't damage, it's a protective response. But over time, it can feel like persistent fatigue, cold sensitivity, and low motivation. Estrogen's role in hormone communication. Estrogen helps regulate how hormones communicate throughout the body. It supports receptor sensitivity and nervous system balance. When estrogen is stable, the body responds predictably to thyroid and stress signals. Poor sleep disrupts estrogen balance by increasing stress hormones and reducing nighttime recovery. Estrogen begins to fluctuate more, which increases nervous system sensitivity and emotional variability. This makes hormonal symptoms feel louder and harder to ignore. Why sleep loss makes emotions and sensations feel stronger. When estrogen fluctuates and thyroid signaling slows, the nervous system becomes more sensitive. Small stressors feel bigger, emotions feel heavier, physical sensations feel more noticeable. This is why women often report brain fog, low motivation, mood swings, feeling cold or sluggish, emotional sensitivity. These symptoms often worsen after poor sleep and improve with better rest, a key clue that sleep is the driver. The quiet role of nighttime repair. Sleep is when hormone receptors reset. Without this repair time, hormones may be present but not heard properly by cells. This disconnect creates the feeling that hormones are off, even when tests don't confirm a problem. Why this is often overlooked. Hormone testing usually focuses on levels, not communication or timing. Sleep quality is rarely considered a hormonal regulator, especially in women who are still cycling. As a result, women may be reassured without addressing the root issue of sleep disruption. Doctor-approved ways to support thyroid and estrogen through sleep. Supporting these hormones means protecting nighttime recovery. Helpful support includes consistent sleep and wake times, managing stress to reduce cortisol, avoiding extreme dieting or late-night stimulants, supporting balanced nutrition, creating calm evening routines. These habits help hormones communicate more clearly. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it disrupts how thyroid and estrogen hormones function and communicate. After 30, this effect becomes stronger, making hormones feel off, even when labs look normal. When sleep quality improves, hormonal signaling often becomes clearer, energy improves, and emotional balance begins to return naturally. A hormone-repairing sleep reset routine. When sleep is poor, hormones don't need extreme fixes. They need clear, consistent signals. This routine isn't about forcing sleep. It's about restoring rhythm so hormones can reset naturally. Small, steady habits matter more than perfection. Morning anchor, your hormone clock. Your sleep hormones reset in the morning, not at night. Waking at a consistent time trains cortisol to rise and fall predictably. Getting natural light early helps melatonin shut off and sets the clock for it to rise again after dark. Eating a balanced breakfast within the first hour supports insulin and prevents stress-driven hormone disruption later in the day. Daytime reduce hormonal noise. All day long, your body is deciding whether it's safe to rest later. Skipped meals, constant multitasking, and high stimulation keep stress hormones elevated. Regular meals stabilize blood sugar and protect insulin sensitivity. Gentle movement improves circulation without stressing the nervous system. Brief pauses, even a few minutes, help cortisol settle instead of accumulating. Late afternoon prevent the second stress spike. Many women experience a surge of fatigue or anxiety late in the day. This is when cortisol and blood sugar instability can interfere with evening calm. Reducing caffeine, eating on time, and slowing the pace during this window helps prevent hormones from staying activated into the night. Evenings signal safety, not productivity. Evenings should clearly tell the body that the day is over. Dimming lights supports melatonin. Predictable routines calm the nervous system and support progesterone's relaxing role. Avoiding emotionally charged content and intense mental work helps hormones shift into repair mode. Bedtime support, deep recovery. Your sleep environment matters. Cool, dark, quiet spaces help melatonin rise naturally. Slow breathing or gentle stretching before bed lowers heart rate and signals safety. If blood sugar drops at night are common, a small protein-rich snack earlier in the evening can reduce adrenaline release during sleep. Sleep consistency, where hormones rebuild. Going to bed and waking at similar times every day stabilizes cortisol, insulin, estrogen, and thyroid signaling. Even if sleep isn't perfect at first, consistency teaches hormones what to expect, and that predictability is deeply calming. Hormones repair themselves through rhythm, not force. When mornings are consistent, days are nourished, evenings are calm, and sleep timing is protected, hormones begin communicating clearly again. Over time, sleep deepens, energy improves, and hormonal balance becomes easier to maintain naturally. Conclusion: if your sleep has been poor and your hormones feel out of balance, you're not imagining the connection. Sleep is one of the body's most powerful hormone regulators, especially for women after 30. When sleep is disrupted, hormones like cortisol, progesterone, insulin, estrogen, and thyroid hormones struggle to reset, and symptoms begin to stack up. The good news is that hormones respond quickly to consistency. Small daily habits create powerful hormonal shifts. When you support sleep with steady routines, gentle evenings, and regular nourishment, your body begins repairing itself naturally. You don't need extreme solutions, just the right signals. Disclaimer: educational only, not medical advice. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.